Obviously, the job market, students are vitally interested. I think a little more so this year than in years past, although there's a great confidence in them as well. I think they are feeling very positive about it, a little worried, but for the most part, pretty positive. But that conversation is taking place more than in past conferences that I can remember. The conference is full of social media. I think to the point where maybe the students are a little sick of it. They are having conversations, though, at a strategic level, which is something that I, as an educator, I just absolutely love. To have them thinking of it not necessarily as a tactic, but in a strategic manner. There was a very successful session yesterday with internships, and a number of folks were there, and they got good advice on the resumes, and of course that's something that they'll always be concerned about. But I think that overall it's had a really strategic flavor to it. I did do a panel on student-operated agencies, and that was pretty much a packed house. A lot of people are interested in that, and I'm surprised that there aren't more student-operated agencies, but there is great interest in them, at least so it seems this year. Yes, as a matter of fact, I moved to the University of Oklahoma specifically for that challenge. We opened the doors to a student-operated advertising and public relations agency in August of last year. And this, in our second year, we have 18 clients, 59 students are engaged in this enterprise, advertising and public relations. I also have a business major who is my our finance director. Excuse me. And we should, if all things are right, conservatively bill about $25,000 this year. So they're getting some no kidding hands-on experience. It's the differentiator, it really is. Those students who have had that work experience in an internship, and those students who, at least in my experience, have that agency experience and are going to do a lot better than their peers. And we're already seeing that even in just the second year. Students with agency experience are getting the top internships. They're getting a little higher than entry-level kind of positions. In my last institution, Ball State, we had a student-operated agency, and several of the directors of that agency were recruited specific for companies who created positions especially for them. So it really is the differentiator, and I think that's why the conversation and the interest this year. It's been evolutionary, I think, as opposed to revolutionary this year. I do think there's much more conversation about strategy. I think there's much more conversation about relationship. I think we're done as an industry trying to define what we do. I think the conversation now includes where others fit into our paradigm, and I'm talking specifically advertising and marketing. I do think that we're kind of through some of the growing pains and have matured as a profession, and that leads us to concentrating on some other things beyond the basics. I don't. Keeping up with things is really very difficult, and I think it's as simple as read, read, read. I don't do as much reading as I should, but I do get a number of newsletters and of course the PRSA tool that is sent out daily, and ad week, and of course I try and look at you guys and the blog and what Helen Knowlton's doing and saying. But I think that's just really the only way that you can even try and keep up, is to just read as much as you can. I would like to add one thing, and this is from a perspective of concentrating now on students for my 9th year. I think this profession is in really good shape. The leaders of tomorrow are really very professional, very thoughtful. In fact, I talked to my colleagues at the Educators Academy dinner last night and said that I was glad I did what I did when I did it, because the competition today is really stiff, because they are getting it, and it's fun. That's what keeps me getting up every day.